Halifax. Welcome to the Tripelers channel. Join us as we set off on a once-in-a-lifetime journey around the world. Over the next 133 days, we will visit 4 continents and make 55 stops across 27 countries. After a full adventure crossing the Atlantic, we docked in the port of Halifax in Canada. Canada has around 40 million inhabitants, and in Halifax itself live just over 500,000 people. The city is renowned for its maritime heritage and friendly, vibrant harbourfront. After leaving the Halifax seaport, our day started with a wonderful surprise. Alex received a commemorative hockey card from one of the terminal staff members. A perfect welcome to Canada, where hockey isn't just a sport, it's practically a national identity. As we began walking toward the Halifax Citadel, we couldn't stop staring at the massive Canadian trucks passing by. These giants of the road are built for long distances and rough weather. They look like they came straight out of an American movie. I honestly have no idea how he manages to find something connected to his name in every city we visit. Our route took us through the grounds of one of Halifax's universities. Halifax is known as a major student city, and more than half of all students here come from outside the province, giving the whole area a lively, international feel. A few minutes later, we reached the Halifax Central Library, one of the most modern buildings in the city. It's famous for its striking stack of books design and has been named one of the 10 most beautiful libraries in the world. From the rooftop terrace, you can see the harbour on a clear day. Walking through Halifax gave us the perfect chance to take a closer look at the city's eclectic architecture. Even though the buildings differ wildly in style and character, the city never feels chaotic. Everything blends together surprisingly well. The streets are clean and well kept, and the drivers are incredibly polite, always stopping to let pedestrians cross. It makes exploring the city on foot genuinely enjoyable. Next, we explored the Halifax Public Gardens, a perfectly preserved Victorian garden from the 19th century. It's one of the oldest public gardens in all of North America, complete with ornate fountains, colorful flower beds, and a classic bandstand. From there, we continued up to the Halifax Citadel. This star-shaped fortress has guarded the city since the 18th century. What's especially interesting is that it never had to fire a shot in battle. Its intimidating structure alone was enough to deter enemies. The noon gun has been a daily tradition in Halifax since 1857, as a tribute to Halifax's history as a major British military stronghold. The central part of the fortress stands the Cavalier Building, one of the Citadel's most important historic structures. Today, the building houses the Army Museum, where you can see uniforms, weapons, and personal stories that show how soldiers lived and served here over the centuries. From the upper platforms of the Citadel, you can enjoy fantastic views of the coastline and the city, a perfect reminder of why this hill was chosen as Halifax's main defensive position. Just below the hill stands the Halifax Town Clock. It was gifted to the city by Prince Edward in the year 1803 to help soldiers arrive on time, apparently. Punctuality was a serious issue in the British garrison. As we walked back down toward the waterfront, we continued admiring Halifax's mix of architectural styles until we reached the memorial honoring peace officers from Nova Scotia who died in the line of duty. It's a humbling reminder of the selflessness and dedication of those who lost their lives while serving others. Right next to it stands Halifax City Hall, one of the oldest continuously operating municipal buildings in Canada, completed in the year 1890. Its clock on the north face is permanently set to 9:04, the exact moment of the Halifax Explosion in 1917. Just a few steps away is the historic Anglican Church, one of the city's oldest surviving religious buildings, although unfortunately it's currently closed, so it can only be viewed from the outside. On our way down, Alex was immediately drawn to a colorful candy shop. We stopped to pick up some gummies, though choosing just a few wasn't easy. After all, we definitely needed to refill the calories we burned, climbing up and down the hills of Halifax. Next, we visited Province House, where the Legislative Assembly of Nova Scotia has met every year since 1819, making it the longest-serving legislative building in Canada and a beautiful example of Georgian architecture. Walking toward the waterfront and burning off some of those jelly bean calories, we realized how Nova Scotia truly reminded us of Scotland. At the end of Prince Street stands Sail, an installation by Eduardo Tresoldi, crafted from wire mesh and subtle lighting to form a sculpture that looks like a ghostly ship hovering above the harbor. We then entered the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, where you'll find stunning lighthouse artifacts like the gigantic first-order Fresnel lens once used in the Sambro Island Lighthouse at the mouth of Halifax Harbour. We started our visit in the small craft gallery, where boats traditionally used in Nova Scotia's waters are displayed from locally built commercial and recreational vessels to competition boats and designs created by the Mi'kmaq, the region's earliest inhabitants. The museum also features a powerful gallery on the Halifax Explosion of 1917. On the morning of December 6, 1917, the French steamship Mont Blanc, carrying explosives destined for France, was entering the narrows of Halifax Harbour. At the same time, the Norwegian ship Imo was leaving Bedford Basin, bound for New York to load relief supplies for occupied Belgium. The two vessels collided, sparking a fire aboard Mont Blanc. Minutes later, the ship detonated, causing the largest human-made explosion before the atomic age, devastating entire neighborhoods and forever shaping the history of Halifax. At the top of the stairs, you enter an impressive gallery filled with exceptionally detailed ship models, mainly from the steam era, including large models like the Franconia and Mauretania. The whole display focuses on steamships and early industrial maritime travel, complete with moving engine models that show how this era powered global commerce. There's the permanent exhibition on the Titanic, featuring more than 50 artifacts, including an authentic deck chair from the ship and personal belongings connected to the victims and the Halifax cable ship crews who carried out the recovery mission. The entire operation was coordinated from Halifax, which is why the city holds one of the largest Titanic collections in the world. One of the highlights is a wall-sized photo of Titanic's iconic grand staircase, complete with a beautifully carved balustrade and newel post. Next, we headed out for a walk along the Halifax Harbour, and during our stroll, we wanted to share a bit of the history of Nova Scotia and Halifax. Nova Scotia's name means New Scotland, and the region has deep connections to Scottish settlers who began arriving in the early 17th century. Halifax itself was founded in 1749 as a major British stronghold, chosen for its strategic harbour, one of the largest and deepest natural harbours in the world. For centuries, the city played a crucial role in Atlantic shipping, naval operations, and transatlantic communication, including the era of the famous cable ships. Halifax also became a key immigration gateway, welcoming newcomers arriving to Canada long before air travel existed. Next, we visited the Harbour Ferry Terminal in Halifax. The ferry service between Halifax and Dartmouth is the oldest saltwater ferry route in North America, operating in some form since 1752. After that, we headed out to look for Tim Hortons, a cafe that was recommended to us on the ship as being beloved by Canadians. The chain was founded in 1964 by Canadian hockey legend Tim Horton and is now famous for its original blend coffee, donuts, and classic snacks. We went looking for a place to have lunch and try something local. Unfortunately, Dave's Lobster, where we wanted to try a lobster roll, and Smoke's Poutineery, famous for its loaded fries, were both closed. So we simply followed the smell of pine wood smoke and ended up at Salt Plus Ash, a restaurant with beautiful decor and incredibly friendly staff. There, we enjoyed fantastic fish and chips and the Shrimper, a brioche bun with chili shrimp, iceberg lettuce, and dill pickle. After lunch at the Halifax Harbour, we took a leisurely walk back to the ship. We hope you enjoyed this little tour of Halifax, and if you're planning a visit with more time to spare, it's definitely worth seeing the famous Peggy's Cove Lighthouse as well. For now, we're setting sail toward Boston, and we hope you'll continue the journey with us.
Tripelers, like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to support us and see more quick travel reviews.